Starfield is more or less here. We are just 1 week away, and in today's video we are going to be going through everything that you must do before the release, with this having more of a focus to those of you which are the hardcore fans, those who have been waiting for this game since its very first announcement. So to begin with, it makes sense to go and get a pre-order. Likely you have already done this already, but if you haven't, this is the time to do it. You could get yourself the normal standard edition, which does mean you're going to have to wait until the 6th of September. But as this video is aimed at hardcore fans, it's likely that you've already got the Constellation edition, allowing you to get it on the 1st of September. But before that happens, as you don't want to spend the whole day on the 1st downloading the game, instead you want to be playing, it's also a good opportunity for when it arrives for you to pre-download, allowing you to start the download process before still not being able to play, but then being able to play the second that time hits. Another thing that you can also do on top of this is change your time zone. Depending where you live in the world, you may benefit from changing your time zone to a place which is going to receive the game slightly earlier. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but as yet again we are talking about the hardcore fans, this will just give you a slight bit extra. Now, looking away from just pre-ordering and downloading the game and even getting it earlier, let's actually talk about the game itself. Because there's one big part which every player is going to have to go through, and it's a decision that you need to make. And it's either going to come at the point in which you go into this section, or it's going to happen now. And that is starting to plan your character customization. Character customization is super in depth. So much so that every character within the game, every NPC, is backed by the exact same system. Meaning, if there is a character that you already like the look of, someone who will be an NPC within game, you could already start to plan how you're going to recreate them and have them look exactly the same as what your character will look like. Likewise, you could also look to go for something completely different, something that has not been seen within game yet. The choice is really yours. Now, this in itself, it doesn't change too much. This is just your character's appearance. And the cool thing is that if you're not happy, you could always visit a genetics facility at any point within the game in order to change your character's appearance. Although this will likely cost something, most likely credits. So it's certainly worth planning exactly what you want your character to look like in order for you to get it right the first time. But this is if character customization is important to you. Remember that there are over 40 different presets that you can select from the beginning and just use those, allowing you to get into gameplay immediately. If the appearance is important, you can still use these presets as a base foundation, and from there you're able to customize your body, with there being over 100 different options to choose from, each striking a balance between those characteristics of muscular, heavy, and even thin. And then you can go super in depth with the way in which your character's face looks. This means taking a look at your skin tone, head shape, hair color, facial hair color, eyes, eye color, teeth, jaws, chins, neck, nose, ears, cheeks, mouth, any jewelry color, any tattoos, any body modifications. All of that is included. Now, we don't know every single preset that's available, but you understand that there's going to be super in depth. So get a rough idea of what you're looking to create. That way you're able to immediately start putting that character together and get straight into gameplay. Another big part of this is also your background. It has been confirmed that there are 20 backgrounds in total, 16 of which have already been revealed. Now, of course, we don't know what those other 4 are, which makes this bit slightly trickier, but with the ones that have been revealed and the skills that are also there alongside them, it's worth starting to plan exactly what background you're going to select. And this in itself isn't really an easy choice, because unlike your character's appearance, which can be changed at any point within the game, your background can't, and your background will affect gameplay. This will unlock more content based on your decision, or even lock away content, or even just make it slightly harder to get to. With each background, you'll unlock 3 additional skills, allowing you to find your place within the world. And all of these are completely different. For example, take a look at Diplomat. Diplomat offers 3 skills: persuasion, commerce, and wellness. Between these three, you will unlock more dialogue options, giving you a chance to find additional little bits of information or even just unlock additional content. Commerce in itself will give you extra content as you'll be able to open and run a successful business, which has not been mentioned at all within anything that has been revealed within Starfield or from Bethesda or in any other skill for that matter. And then also with the wellness skill, with an active lifestyle and good nutrition, you can gain a prolonged life expectancy. All of these are very impactful to what can be done in game, and your choice here will be stuck with you for the rest until you complete your playthrough. So you need to pick carefully something that's going to suit your playstyle and what you like to do, but also something that's going to give you the benefits. Similar to backgrounds, we also need to talk about traits. Traits can provide additional skills, although there's also a side effect to these. But firstly, you need to decide whether or not you're going to take any traits, because these are entirely optional. You can customize your character, select the background, and then just ignore the traits, not selecting any, and then immediately get into the gameplay. But by doing so, you miss out on what positive effects you could gain. Now, so far, there's been 16 traits that we know about so far, although it's likely that there's going to be a lot more on top of this. Todd Howard, as well as Bethesda, haven't revealed an exact number of how many traits there are within game. So we don't know whether or not this is the max of there only being 16, or if there's going to be a lot more. What we do know, however, is that with each and every single one of these traits, there is a positive as well as a negative that comes with them. For example, take a look at alien DNA. With this, you'll have a higher health pool and greater endurance, but healing items are less effective. There's also some traits which will allow you to have additional content. For example, the Dream Home trait will allow you to start with a small house on a peaceful little moon. The content side of this, we don't know what it will bring, but the fact that you get this from the very beginning means that there needs to be something of value there. Even if it is just a few extra lines of dialogue as you talk to people on this peaceful little moon, or if it's just extra place for storage. The negative side is that immediately you'll need to start spending 50,000 credits on a mortgage with Gold Bank. The penalties of this is unknown, but as this is a mortgage, we assume that is going to play out exactly like it does in real life. If you miss payments, soon you'll get an eviction notice, and then you could potentially lose the house. You will need to weigh up whether or not this is worth it, whether or not the positive is worth dealing with the negative, and how many of these traits you're going to take. You can take a maximum of 3, so if that is a choice for you to go through and select 3 traits, which ones are you going to select? And it's also worth highlighting that there is a way to remove the negative side effects of these at some point within the game, although we don't know quite what that is as of right now. We know you're going to have to do something, but we don't know what. Yet again though, with the traits that have been revealed, it's worth starting to plan exactly what you're going to go for. And then finally, this brings us into gameplay. What is it that you want to do? What's your priority here? Because Bethesda have made it clear that this game revolves around your choices, what you want to do. That's the overall story. That's why they haven't revealed much about the story itself within Starfield, because the story is forever changing based on the choices that you make. So they can't flat out say that the story is about X or it's about Y, because that may not be the case. Of course, we know the constellation is going to play a part of it, and we also know that the artifact is also going to play a part. But other than that, the choice is entirely up to you. Visit the planets that you want to visit, build the outposts that you want to build, craft ships that you want to craft. Explore the way that you want to explore. So are you going to be the player that sits down, goes through story mission to story mission, in which the story length has been confirmed to be anywhere between 30 to 40 hours? That's directly from Todd Howard himself. Or are you someone that's going to take it as it is? If a story mission comes up, you'll go into play, but as you're going through or going in between mission by mission, is there dynamic events, various activities, collectibles, and you're just going to play them as they show up? Or are you going to completely ignore the story for the time being and just do what you want to do? See how many planets you can visit before you're forced to go into the story because you need specialist equipment in order to get somewhere. With what's being advertised, there are so many different ways in which you can play this game, and now it goes over to you. It's no longer the case of watching trailers or gameplay reveals where they choose a select path in order to show you. Now you could do the real thing. So let us know your plans in the comment section down below. Which edition are you going for, standard or the Constellation edition? Are you going to change your time zone? How do you want your character to look? What background are you selecting? What traits are you selecting, if any? And how do you want to play this game? If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking the next video on screen. That video goes through 48 details that you must know before the release. So click that and I'll be over there to guide you through absolutely everything. I hope you enjoy.